Was there something in my walk, how I talk, giving off the wrong energy? Was there something in my stride, too much pride, telling you to back down? Slowly, slowly you became my enemy. But you can't seem to get enough of me. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all. Was there something in my walk, how I talk, giving off the wrong energy? Was there something in my stride, too much pride, telling you to back down? Slowly, slowly you became my enemy. But you can't seem to get enough of me. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all.
Tries to hold on to the bottom. Here comes Gisette. They make contact. They touch once, twice, 3 times.
Foul trouble! Oh, no, Rocky into the wall. Big crash front straightaway. Huge crash coming into the triangle. No, Rocky up and into the air. They're beating and banging. Burn on the bottom. Cosman up top. Cosman, I think. No. Briar by 1/1000th of a second. Joseph, no! At the line, Thunhorse pulls the win out at the stripe.
Oh, he saves it! What's going to happen here?
Here comes the canvas. Get your foot down. He got it. He's got it. He's got it. The canvas is going to win.
Welcome to the place where magic can happen. On FDFGG tonight, it's the WINSTEL Gen 4 Challenge as we've made our way to iRacing's virtual Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. for the second half of the summer season's beginnings. Justin Prince alongside Jacob Hitz with you, along with our producer Zach Johnson, as we look to see who can bring some magic here today from Pocono. It should be a fun one, Jacob, with plenty of competitors making their way here. 32 entries for today's race.
They call it the tricky triangle for a reason, and they've got 32 laps to try and wrestle this racetrack. It's the weirdest track I think we go to on the schedule. It's not an oval. It's not a road course. It kind of drives like both, though. You've got three very different corners. They're all different from each other, all based off of other racetracks that the IndyCar Series used to run, as well as NASCAR. It's all come together in this, well, tricky racetrack. That's why they call it the Tricky Triangle. It's not easy to get around this place, especially when the sun is burning the pavement to death before these guys get on the racetrack. Track temp, a nice cool 137 degrees. It's going to be slick out there.
It's going to be slick, and the drivers have talked about how fun tonight's expected to be, especially with how the setup can be. What's set up, how the starting grid will be for tonight's action. James Holzer setting the best time at qualifying tonight in the 09 for Phoenix Racing, followed by Kyle Benson, who continues his momentum from the start of his campaign in the 92. Then it's Jose Solis Jr. alongside Brendan McKissick in your top four. Gabriel Mauricio starts in fifth today with Logan Kress in sixth spot after his victory at Daytona. Ryan Doucette starts in seventh with Christian Budd in eighth. Larry Pace and TJ Crampton with his best starting position of the season, top 10.
Thomas Lewandowski starts in the 11th spot. Alex Kolonix lines up in 12th. Dylan Roberts and Nicholas Doucette make up row number 7. Christina Ryan and Sean Peleg in row 8. Parker Alexander and Anthony Krobak in row number 9. Ali Osman and Timothy Latham rounding out our top 20.
21st goes to Brendan McGee today with Philip Snipes in 22nd. Then row 12 inside Alex Bates, outside Alex Zire. Then it's Brandon Cruz-Gonzalez starting in 25th today in Forrest Scott in 26th. The last driver setting a time was Josh Parisano. And the first of the drivers non-qualifiers is a newcomer. It's a familiar name across the circuit in real-world racing and virtual, Robbie Lyons. John Schwartz and Ben Hancock join him at the back of the field, along with Christopher Tate and Hayden Ripas, your 32 entrants here for Pocono. Just about all set to go for the Pennsylvania 500, this 5th race of the summertime, and just a few races away from the battle for the WINSTEL Cup. Your keys to victory today for Pocono, Jacob.
Well, you can't put too much heat into the tires. The track's already hot. It's slick. If you wear your tires out too much, if you push the car too much and you get those tires unhappy, you're really not going to have any grip early and often going through the corners. Turn 1, it seems like you can never slow down enough to make the corner. And it just seems like you're going so slow going down through turn number 1 until you finally get off. There are plenty of spots in turn 1 where you can overdrive it, bounce it off the outside wall, watch up into somebody. You got to be careful pretty much all the way through turn number 1. Turn 3 is also going to be another difficult race part of the racetrack. It's flat. In the old version of this racetrack that existed in 2006, there was that patch. It was pretty much single lane. It's widened out since they've repaved this racetrack back in 2012, but it's still not an easy turn to negotiate, and they're going to have to funnel down by the time they get to turn number 3. I'd keep an eye on that as well tonight.
And you mentioned the key point there. This is the new Pocono we'll be using tonight with the grip levels compared to the older Pocono. This has been considered by WINSTEL officials the optimal one for the battling for today. Expect a lot of battling here at the Tricky Triangle. Pace truck is off. Holzer in control of the pack. Green flag waits up at the stand. We're underway from Pocono. trouble. Turn 3, Larry Pace off the pace, has made his way to the access lane already. No caution, we stay green from 9th position. Pace with a problem.
Yeah, not quite sure what the game plan is for him. He had a blinker near him in that 18 of Anthony Krobak, but I'm not sure what the call was there for Pace. He came down, he just pulled off, it looks like, and stayed back up to speed then. He never came to pit road. I think he just wanted to get out of the way of everybody else because it was pretty congested around him.
A weird scenario, but Kyle Benson, the race leader, up at the front. James Holzer also building up a buffer with them, but third already going to Brandon McKissick, who tries to build himself a buffer from Logan Crest and Christian Budd. Here's a look at the battle. Yes.
Right there from well, really fourth on back now, maybe fifth on back with Budd. As McKissick's trying to break away. How about for the lead, though? Here comes Holzer underneath Kyle Benson for the lead. He's got the spot at the stripe.
Bit of a slide for Benson through turn 3, and that's something we've seen a lot of in practice for tonight. Lots of drivers very loose with these high track conditions when it comes to the temperatures. It's been expected to be slidey.
Turn 1. Nicholas Doucette got put into the outside wall. He's okay. He has some damage on the right side of the race car. He was battling with the 21 of Thomas Lewandowski, and I think what happened is he was just riding too close to the wall and got up into the wall, going down into the corner, bounced it off the safer barrier, but he seems to be okay. Didn't lose any positions, just lost a little bit of time.
So with that, Doucette still in 13th, does lose some time, though, as a result of the wall contact. But it's making that third line dance, or rather, the car is trying to dance from that line, from the third line to the second. And that's expected to be the case throughout the race. Some drivers really slipping and sliding in the heart of this pack as we take a look at Colonix trying to hold off Solis Jr. and Mauricio.
A good battle back there. Christian Budd's going to pick off Logan Crest, getting into turn 1. TJ Crampton's right behind. Can't quite get underneath that 07. And they'll just stay congested right behind Colonix. Mauricio on the outside. The 11 of Jose Solis Jr. on the bottom.
See that just to the left of your screen, in fact. But the tough thing when it comes to this racetrack, going to be tire wear. You'd have to consider 32 laps up on the board here today at Pocono. That expecting to be about a 2-stopper with their fuel mileage potentially. That's going to be critical, and bump drafting has been a warning sign for some, especially if you want to push your way past, say, the 11 car of Solis Jr. like right there, or like the 07 like Sean Pellick has just done with Logan Crest dancing off the corner.
Well, and you mentioned fuel strategy. This track is known for really having to crunch the numbers as far as fuel is concerned. They're only running 37% fuel capacity on these race cars. So this could open up a window, since there are no confirmed cautions, there are no stages, could open up the window for some different strategy as Crest is still dancing around off the corner.
Colonix you see on board. This is the viewpoint from his direct drive with a bit of near contact for the 07 going to block. Colonix forced to try and go the outside or go for the cross. Has a buffer behind. Has a little rub with the back bumper on the 07 of Crest as Crest loses the bottom.
Yeah, great move there by Colonix to get down to the inside. Mauricio's right there as well. He's probably going to look on that 07. You got the 24 of Doucette right behind. Oh, man, Doucette fishtailing it, trouble. It's the Parker Alexander's around off turn 3. Bounced off Christina Ryan, it looks like, to bring out the first caution.
So we're under yellow for the first time here at Pocono, and it was the battle indeed for 17th position between Ryan and Parker, where things have gone off this time. Contact sending the 2-car around to the inside wall, and significant damage for Alexander as a result. Here's a look at the replay, and watch Ryan off of turn 3.
Yep, so she bounces it off the wall, comes down, pulls it off the wall, and unfortunately bodies Parker Alexander down into that inside wall. Nowhere for him really to go, as she just got a little too high, just caught that wall enough, and it kind of just sucked her into the wall, and then once she finally got away, nowhere for that 2 to go.
And this is a long track when it comes to pacing. Keep in mind, this is a quickie yellow in terms of lap circuit, but the pace laps here still bring you a lot of time to be able to consider things, let's say that, with about 90 seconds on average a pace lap. The question is, do you elect to come in this time, Jacob? We ran 6 laps under green plus the lap to catch up to the pace truck.
Well, if it's going to get you to the end, I say pit. If you weren't planning on a caution being here and you were planning on going green, I would maybe save some fuel under this caution and kind of see what happens. Looking at, I just went into the test to see what the fuel mileage looks like. Now, obviously no laps or anything, so this will probably change, but I'm getting just under 20 laps or so. So you pit here, you can't make it to the end, you're going to have to pit anyway. So I say just save and kind of see what happens.
We'll see if the drivers follow those same thoughts. And keep in mind, there have been 2 different major shakeups here in the lineup because Sean Pellig is plus 10, minus 10, Solis Jr. So the battle of the differences of 10 spots gained and lost coming on in. Solis Jr. started off strong from qualifying and practice. Seems to not have the best of positioning, though, when it comes to the race time here so far. As we see who comes in. Is that everyone coming in? Yes, indeed. A near stack up for third, though, behind Kyle Benson.
Well, you talked about Jose Solis Jr. I wonder if maybe he was just focused on saving his tires, saving fuel on that green flag run, thinking, yeah, after this first lap, we're probably not going to see yellow. We're probably going to go green a good bit here and just try and put himself in a good position for the long run rather than the short run. Obviously, that came apart with the caution. We'll see if anybody pulls some strategy. Maybe he decides to go 2 tires. Philip Snipes in that 99 stays out, and he'll be the race leader. Nick Doucette is rolling off pit road in that 24, and he took 2 tires, so we are getting some strategy as far as tires are concerned.
Nicholas Doucette, who was in the battle for the top 10 before the caution, is first out with 2 tires. Also, Kalanick Solis Jr. taking 2. Thomas Lewandowski took 2. He came out behind Holzer, the first on 4 tires. And here's an intriguing outlier in this. Forrest Scott, who was running in the 20s before the caution, had a 6-second pit stop, Jacob.
Fuel only.
That's an interesting call at Pocono.
Well,
and so is an interesting call potentially if Philip Snipes elects to stay out. Here's a look at Forrest Scott. This is the best track position he's had in the night. 16 positions gained as a result of the call.
Yeah, it's interesting. We only ran 6 laps under green, so I can understand the thought of, yeah, let's stay out. They have unlimited tire sets, so you're not just burning up a set for nothing here if you do pit. And you do take tires. The 2 tires didn't surprise me just because the left should still be okay. The rights might have a little bit of wear on them. Philip Snipes, he'll probably get eaten alive here on this restart after about a lap or 2. Might get an early jump on the restart, but everybody will catch back up with him, even the guys that only took 2 tires. For somebody like Scott, same deal. You know, it's good to try and get off strategy or change the strategy up. That's what's so great about these races is you have the ability to kind of just throw the kitchen sink at everything and kind of see how things fall out. But if you pitted, I think you're probably in the better shape just because if we do go green, they can make it a little bit longer, and that'll open up the strategy window for their final stop, whether they decide to just take 2 if you took 4 on this pit stop, or something along those lines. Speed up that final pit stop, get enough fuel in the thing to get you to the checkered flag and get you on your merry way.
So Hendon Repa's coming in with a quick fuel and go as we're now at 1 to go on the racetrack. Snipes has stayed out on the track, it's worth noting, indeed, and chose the outside line. So Philip Snipes already preparing for the tire difference here. The fall off might be a factor already. The fastest lap so far, 56.8 before that caution flag. The drivers were already in the 57-second bracket in the heart of the pack.
Yeah, I believe our fastest lap's a 56.574, Christian Budd. That's the way it looks right now, but times are starting to fall off. And that's what happens. Hot, slick racetrack, wears the tires out. You know, even for this being the repaved Pocono, it's still pretty bumpy. It doesn't have a ton of grip, you know, maybe compared to the legacy one, but you're still abusing the tires a good bit here. It's not like you're driving at the new Atlanta or something, which is pretty much really, really smooth. It's got some character to the racetrack, as they say.
Absolutely when it comes to the timing of this track. But now it's time to see how things play out. Pace truck is off. Green flag up at the stand. Off and away a little later on the jump from Barney. And keep an eye on that inside line. Kolonix already trying to think about a push to the 24. 3 and 4 wide behind him. It turned right into the inside wall. No caution yet. Holzer stays below the yellow line. We stay green.
They were 5 wide getting to turn number 1 further back. The 95 of John Swartz was stuck in the middle. 5 wide. That's how wide they can fan out here, but they made it work down through turn number 1. Here comes Jose Solis Jr. looking to the inside for the lead.
Solis Jr. going for the point. Gets it from Philip Snipes. Now, Kolonix boxed in. Nicholas Doucette trying to zip around. Kolonix forced to check up as he cuts in line with Christian, but nearly getting to the back bumper to 45.
Yeah, these guys that are on new tires now, they're going to be a lot more aggressive than Snipes up on the outside of the racetrack, who has no tires. He's probably thinking, why in the world did I do this? He's going to get past left, right, and center as Kolonix is going to block Christian Budd all the way down to that inside wall. Let's see what kind of arc this 17 gets getting into the corner.
3 wide, Lewandowski forced up out of the bumps. Kolonix nearly clearing Christian, but again drips it around. Snipes still holding on to third in this. Lewandowski thinks of the bump. Instead, Snipes playing the lines. Behind them, more trouble. Anthony Krobak still slowing down. Christopher Tate also involved.
He was about wrecking the whole way off turn number 1 and almost got drop kicked by the 5 of Alex Bates. That was really close. A great save. We are 3 and 4 wide. Head toward turn number 3. Christian Budd on the bottom. Here comes the 31 of Mauricio. The 17 of Ryan Doucette stuck in the middle. Lewandowski stuck in the outside. And that 21 says the 92 of Kyle Benson.
2.5 lanes. Still makes it work. Kolonix just avoids the door of Peleg. Sean Peleg jumps up to a race-high 5th, and this battle has already lost nearly a full second to the top 2. That's how busy it's been. Peleg trying to clear by the 99 of Snipes does. Here comes Kolonix to join the fray.
Oh, man, Lewandowski got a little loose right there. Cut it down to the middle. Trying to avoid Snipes and almost got into the 92 of Benson. They're going to try 3 wide into turn number 2. That's not the wisest move. Somebody's got to bail out of this right here. 3 by 3. They're both going to send it down the bottom. You better hope you got enough grip.
Oh, they do. Snipes just backed out of it. Big check up behind for a moment from Crampton. But still 3 wide into turn 3. Budd, McKissick amongst those clearing by. And there goes Snipes to the very top of the racetrack. And bye-bye. 20 to go.
Yeah, really got pushed wide there for that 99, and he's going to be in some trouble now. He's just going to keep free-falling through the field, and he's just got to hope that nobody wrecks him or wrecks themselves trying to get by him, even though he might be able to use a caution to his advantage and get him some fresh tires. He doesn't want to be the cause of something big back here further in the pack.
See how tight things are getting, though. Still in the heart of that main pack right now. Mauricio, who's built up a lot of momentum as of late, trying to get things done. Christian Budd, who had strong starting position for what's been a struggle at times throughout qualifying this year compared to the spring. Still, though, doesn't have the preferred mark on the bottom of the racetrack. In front of them, Kyle Benson recovering after losing spots in the pit lane.
Yeah, and the reason he lost spots was solely because he took 4 tires. Really, and that's what got him further back in traffic, and he's been able to cut himself through the field pretty nicely, stuck with this 6th battle with Brandon McKissick as Lewandowski just pulls away out in front of him. And you talked about what we both talked about, Jose Solis Jr., how he struggled early on. Well, he's leading. He's pulling away from Nick Doucette right now.
By 0.4 of a second at least, and growing absolutely. Bud still not able to make things work now in the bottom. Mauricio zipping on by. Logan Kress joining the fun. Logan Kress looking like he's trying to pace himself to the inside. Getting some draft from the 31 of Mauricio. And Christian Bud again having to give some space. Trying a bit of the squeeze.
Oh, trouble, turn 2. One car turned hard into the outside wall. Brandon Cruz Montsave, the 9 in it as well as Brennan McGee. Caution flag is out. They were 3 wide getting into turn number 2. I quick turned around to it because I thought things were getting a little too tight. And a hard shot for the 20 into the outside wall, almost head on as they're still beating and banging. The 20's got 2 broken front tires. And caution's out for the second time tonight at Pocono.
Significant hit when it comes to the 20 and the 9. I think the look through the tunnel turn may say it all here with how tight that racing was getting. Watch this apex.
3 wide with Christina Ryan, and she gets away. The 20 just couldn't keep the bottom and slid up the racetrack into the 9, and we got trouble.
So Brandon Cruz significantly damaged. Christina Ryan, keep in mind, after the EOL from the first caution, had been cutting through the pack. You see the run for the 20, though, before this mark. Had just about cleared, too. But there's always that apex.
Oh, brutal on board.
So close to the back end of Ryan's machine, too. Just within about a foot of turning around the 98 there.
Yeah, I mean, very lucky. Very lucky. I thought at first all 3 of them were going to go wreck. By the time I got to him, the 20 was already halfway up the racetrack and headed for that outside wall. And a good job by those further on in the back to get down on the brakes and avoid these guys sitting in the middle of the racetrack. But no fast repairs. A lot of damage. Certainly going to impact these guys making it the distance as pit road's about to be a busy place.
17 to go, coming up towards halfway. Everybody except for Thomas Lewandowski coming down so far. We'll see if more 2-tire calls come into play, or we see more 4-tire calls, with several attempting to roll the dice the last place time, or rather last timing, of the caution flag. So into the pit box they go. We'll see where the race stands out. Nicholas Doucette, fuel only. The 24 takes only gas as a majority of the pack goes up on the jacks.
That's a bold strategy. I'm not convinced Lewandowski staying out's the move either, because you pit here, you should be able to make it to the end. At least you'll be close. Doucette, bold strategy, but everybody really taking 2 tires. First guy out on 4 is Kolonix. With Ryan Doucette also taking 4. A lot of folks taking 2 this time around to try and make it to the end with that track position they get. And based off of that run, I'm not sure that 4 tires is necessarily better than 2 if we have another shorter run like that, because as long as you took tires, you were quick enough to make your way through the field. We saw who it didn't work for, the guy that stayed out in the 99. So Lewandowski, he's going to be in trouble here. But the guys that took 2, I like the call to get the track position.
So we'll see how this absolutely plays out here. Kolonix, for reference, in 10th position, then Doucette in 12th in terms of those comparison marks, absolutely. But I will say this when it comes to some of the drivers who have been impressive here. How about Peleg? We've seen Peleg really overcome a lot throughout his time in WINSTEL Gen 4 Challenge competition. Started off very slow in the Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, and since the start of the summer, he's gotten better and better and better to the point where this is his best race in this series so far.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out the rest of the way. You got a couple more in the back that are going to pit again this time. Philip Snipes is one of them. Larry Pace, Josh Parasoto, Christopher Tate, Hayden Repas all going to come in and try and pull something off here. But we're at the halfway point. We'll get the restart with 15 to go. Everybody's doubled up, and Lewandowski, a really bold call here, I think, staying out. You know, it's about as long as he went in that first run still, I don't like the call, especially since he only took 2 tires on that first stop. Really not a big fan of the call.
Soto picking up a penalty coming into the pit lane, by the way, in the 26, so a lengthier stop coming up. You see how things are sorted here for the restart. Lewandowski, Nicholas Doucette, Solis Jr., Peleg, fall behind by Benson McKissick. Then Mauricio, Kress, Bud, Kolonix. Bunch your top 10 for this upcoming jump. We'll have to see how the dice rolls play out here for many. Again, first driver on 4 tires, 10th position. The drivers on 2 were flying, though. With 15 laps to go, a lot can happen. Fuel saving already underway during this caution after the pit stops for those who came in for service. So it's Lewandowski with Nicholas Doucette. The iRacing pace truck coming off of turn 3. First time it was the start of the box. Second time it was the middle of the box. This time it's towards the ends of the box. Green flag is out, back and away. Tire spin for the 21 for Wood Brothers Racing. Here comes Solis Jr. trying to build up a momentum and trying to go for the lead. 3 wide for the point.
And we saw it happen last time in the restart. Somebody got turned down to the inside. Doesn't happen this time around, but they still fan out pretty well. Here comes Solis Jr. down on the bottom. He's going to clear Lewandowski. Not quite Doucette. 3 wide for third off 2.
Not so fast on the clearing of Lewandowski. He makes it 3 wide again. McKissick coming to help to bump. Now playing the lines is Nicholas Doucette for the lead. No one backs it down. Lewandowski gets hit. There goes Benson. Into the wall. Several cars run into it in the middle of the turn 2 exit as we're under caution with a major stack up here at Pocono.
Kyle Benson, the 5 of Alex Bates, the 84 TJ Crampton, destroyed. Timothy Lantham involved in this one. I think Holzer may have gotten a piece of it trying to pick his way through the carnage. I believe Christina Ryan got some more damage down on the inside of the racetrack. The 95 of John Swartz in it as well. And that's just too many guys fighting over the same piece of real estate. Lewandowski on those older 2 tires just didn't have the grip, was going to get into Peleg, had to check up, and then that 92 had nowhere to go. He got loose, got hit from behind, and took a hellacious shot to the outside wall. That 84 TJ Crampton, he gets beaten up right here. Behind the 92, kicks down into him. He gets hit hard, back up into the 5 on top of the wall. Ugh.
Nowhere to go for plenty of the drivers, and watch. This is towards full speed. See Latham, Ryan, several more coming up. Holzer just about got hit a second time with the 12 rolling up the track.
Yeah, no brakes on that 12. Good reaction time from the 09, because that was huge coming back up the racetrack like that.
Look at this from Bates.
Nowhere to go. Thought he had a hold of the outside, started to go that way, and just had the 84 in his lap.
Nothing you can do when you have a race car sitting on top of you like that one.
Yep.
So we're under caution with 13 to go this time around. And here we go.
I mean,
well, that answers the fuel strategy.
but you still have some staying out. Solis Jr., Peleg, McKissick, Mauricio, Bud, Kress, Kolonix, Krobak, Forrest Scott all stay out. Which staying out's the right call. You get the track position. You're able to save fuel under caution. So I don't know where Parker Alexander's going. He's going on.
He's the lucky dog.
Well, he's the lucky dog, but he had a little detour first, greeting the leaders as he drove by. But he will not finish last. That'll belong to the 20 of Montsouvet, since Alexander's running, and he'll get his one back. You never know. He could get back on the lead lap here, and we could get 3 more cautions.
He's 9 laps. Oh, Alexander's in the wall. Alexander has crashed, getting the lucky dog.
Oh, my God.
I think he still gets to keep it, but he's damaged the right side of the car, and it's more mandatory repairs for Alexander.
Well,
And he almost hits the wall.
I think that right front's okay. It's not broken.
But he has a meatball flag.
Oh, well. Then never mind. It is broken.
Parker Alexander. 8 laps down. Here's the look at the hit.
Yeah, he didn't hit it all that hard. So they must have put that right front suspension together with some toothpaste and some super glue, because that didn't do the job.
Oh,
right
no, he's been in the
did it
car.
again. You know what that one was? I think that one was I'm just going to hook it into the wall and end it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he coming down, headed to... Holy... Wow, he got air. Duke Boy's at it again. I mean, look at that. I mean, and then back up the racetrack into the outside wall. He wall to wall right there. Hard crash. The onboard. Oh.
He tried to jump out of the track. The track said no thank you.
Well, here's the thing. He jumps that way. He's not jumping out of the track. He's going further in.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Well.
So on the bright side, it's 1 to go. And the fuel saving is underway for so is Junior Pelican Company. Hard clutching coasting. Coming to 11 laps to go. The first of those who pit are in 12th spot, which is Ryan Doucette. A majority of those drivers did take fuel only and or 2 tires. Dylan Roberts, one of the very few who took 4 this caution.
Right. And I mean, you've got 2 guys that stayed out that took 4. Forrest Scott in 10th and Kolonix that's in 7th. So, or in 8th. So that's it. Everybody else is just on 2 tires or on older tires all the way around.
So it's Junior choosing the top for the restart. Pelican the bottom. Mauricio, who has been very quick today in contention. Brandon McKissick, who had a strong run at Bristol earlier this year. Then you have Bud and Kress in row 3. Krobak and Kolonix. Pace, after pulling off into turn 3 on the opening lap, is back in it with Scott. Pace truck is off. Green flag waits up at the stand. Back to racing from Pocono.
Oh, man, a big stack up. Philip Snipes just turns dead left. He pulls down to the inside to go 3 wide going into turn number 1. You're going to have some other guys fan out. Here comes Larry Pace. He's going to drop to the bottom. Kolonix going to do it as well. They're all going to stack up down there.
3 wide, still in the heart of the pack.
Oh, there they go. There goes Scott. He gets into Doucette. They slam into the inside wall. Caution's out.
And Nicholas Doucette keeps it off the wall for significant contact. I believe he's okay. Scott, not so much.
Yeah, Doucette just nosed it into the end of the wall right there, but Forrest got a lot more damage, broke the right front suspension on that thing, and he just got loose. With the 50 on the inside, the 24 up top, just lost the air on the spoiler, washed up into that 24, and around they go.
At a bad time and a bad angle, too, for it to be that fierce. He's already taken claim for the caution. Here's a look 3 wide. And watch this exit. This is exactly what you mentioned. Doucette did indeed get some contact, but not as bad as the damage could have been on the 24.
Oh, there you see it. There we go.
Yeah, just got on the right front. Still keeps going, though.
Yep. So we have some driver updates from Nicholas Doucette. The first one, no tires on the last stop. Time to dig. Moments later, well, crap.
Well, you don't expect that.
Nope.
It's now his near lowest point of the race to 27th, by the way, as for Scott is still trying to chug along with the broken suspension here. Still, though, under 10 to go, and this has to continue to help those who stayed out under the caution. So is Junior, Mauricio, Peleg, Kress, McKissick now your top 5, who all have more time to save fuel to make sure they get to the end here as a result of the timing of the caution.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here with these guys, because we're going to have a restart with 8 to go. That's not a lot of opportunity for these guys to keep smashing them like this. They got to clean it up and get us rolling.
Keep in mind, the next time out for these drivers in WINSTEL Gen for challenge competition goes to the Magic Mile for New Hampshire International Speedway. Also, for 300 scheduled real-world miles for the Lennox Industrial Tools 300. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Next time out, be sure to tune in for the 1 mile circuit. 50 laps expect to be on the docket for that race at New Hampshire. And it should be a fun time. Official racing going there, real-world racing going there to New Hampshire for this year. For when it comes to real-world competition, you always have to love New Hampshire with its uniqueness, as the lucky dog, taking the bottom this time, is the 20 of Brendan Cruz.
Yeah, we're at the we're at that point of the year as trouble. Jose Solis Jr. has fallen out of the session. Your race leader. Oh, he's back.
No!
Houdini.
Don't panic yet. My goodness. That is something that popped up in a previous race this season for the 11. Mauricio was having a similar situation. So in other words, you better hope things stay together with those routers and those modems set up, or the combination of both, depending on your platform. You can see just how nervous the leaders may have to be here.
Just make it 8 more laps. That's all you got to do. Keep it together for 8 more.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, no.
Oh, and he's still there. So that's something, if it happens in race conditions, could really be a bad timing here at Pocono with the blocks that can come in. You can already imagine the trouble there. But either way, 1 to go. He's chosen the bottom this time.
Oh, and it's interesting
now
too.
The top.
His quality really dropped down. Everybody, and typically quality's around 99 or 100. His was at 84. It's now up to 94. His ping's super low. Now his quality's back up to pretty much normal, 96. So it's getting there, but I'm sure he'd like it to stay high and leave it there.
Well, this track has definitely brought in plenty of excitable moments today, but with 7 laps to go, the top 2, Solis Jr. and Mauricio. Then it's Peleg and Kress, McKissick and Bud, Kolinix and Krobak. Then your first of those who topped off in Ryan Doucette. Larry Pace is amongst the top 10, and remember Philip Snipes? He's still in 11th position with Ali Osman, who is second on the top-off strategy in row 6.
Yeah, this is going to be something right here. These guys just keep pointed in the right direction. You're going to have colder tires because you didn't make it all that far on that last restart. So they're going to be pretty icy. You're not going to have a lot of grip going down into turn number 1. Just, you know, keep your head on straight here. Don't send it in there like a dart without feathers, because probably not going to hit the board.
7 laps to go as the top drivers get ready to launch themselves to the moon, figuratively, to try and battle for this race win. The Pennsylvania 500 continues here on FDFGG with the pace truck coming off. Ready to go in the restart zone. Green flag waves up with the stand, back off and away. Good launch from the outside. Mauricio trying to get help from Peleg on the inside line.
It looks like that inside, maybe McKissick in that 42 got a pretty solid launch. Only problem is you can't pull out until you get past the start-finish line. About 3 wide for the lead. Here comes that 48 down on the inside. We know that 11 is pretty good here, both in real life and in sim. That 48 gets a little bit loose. Here comes McKissick.
Side by side for the race lead. McKissick taking the 48 3 wide. Christian Budd zipping around the outside. Logan Kress now in the conversation. Mauricio inside for the tunnel turn. So is Junior trying to make it work high side. Still side by side for the point.
Ripping that outside line, and it almost works. Now, of course, the 31 is blinking. And here comes the 07 of Logan Kress. He's going to pretty much determine who's going to take the lead. If he doesn't pull out and try to make it himself, he gets a good launch down on the bottom of the racetrack looking for that second spot, but Solis is going to lead it at the line.
Still side by side, Kress electing to try and work with the 11 car, entering the drafting zone, Bud joining the party as well. Mauricio harder into the corner below the first seam. Both of them drifted out. Both of them slipping up the track. Kress able to hold on to it, but it's Solis Jr. with the better run to hold on to the lead and nearly clear and does for the point.
I thought Mauricio got the better corner down on the bottom because Solis Jr. was slipping and sliding up top, but he still had the speed on exit to just pull away from him. Here comes that 48. He sends it in deep, almost gets into Christian Budd as there goes the 18 around on the back straightaway. We're going to get another caution, and that might put us in the window for overtime as around goes Anthony Krobak.
So the Joe Gibbs Racing Machine of Anthony Krobak going around in the heart of the top 8. With help from Ryan Doucette coming off the tunnel turn. And there had been technical issues a bit for the 18. You see right here the difference. Did we mention he is from Pennsylvania? Club.
Well, tried. It's been a swing and a miss for the Pennsylvania folks so far. Krobak, Kyle Benson wrecked. James Holzer got turned on a restart. We haven't talked about Lilac Zaire back in the 90 way, in this field back in the 19th position. Yeah. Hometown hero, maybe today's not the day. Well, and Parker Alexander, he's wrecked too. Great.
Yeah. It's been that type of a day, and compare that to New England Club, which is the region for the next race on the schedule, and involving those drivers, you have Solis Jr. the leader, Logan Kress in 3rd, Ryan Doucette in 8th position. You gotta love, sometimes, how things can play out when it comes to magical racing, but with 4 to go this time around, hard fuel saving for some, but likely coming up to 2 to go by the time they get the trigger to go for the restart. Or rather, for the green flag for the restart.
Pit stops?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, what are you doing if you're pitting here? Like, if you couldn't make it before, like, you would have pitted by now.
Lucky Dog going to the 20 car this time. So Brandon Cruz amongst those, Hayden Repez and Anthony Krobak both coming on into the pit lane this time around. Hearing there are potentially scrummages between the 9 and the 20 crews on pit road though after their incident, the last caution. Keep an eye on that as the tempers starting to flare a little bit when it comes to the race today, especially with the points on the line coming up.
There goes the 20. That thing is beat up.
Still 3 laps down, even with the Lucky Dog here. Still, though, the first of those who pit during the previous cautions are Doucette and Osman 8th and 9th. Is there enough time for them to join the fray? And the better yet part, have the cautions help the drivers stay out here, save enough gas, Jacob, you think?
I think that they'll be able to make it Otherwise, I don't think they'd be staying out here because we're going to get a natural green-white checker. So if we get another caution, we're going to overtime. That could make everybody nervous, but otherwise, to make the scheduled distance, these guys should be okay. But there's only one way to find out, and that's a lap from now when we drop the green flag and let them go.
Who do you think's got it is the question mark?
Oof. Jose Solis Jr.'s had the speed, and it would be perfect for the 11 to win here at Pocono. Denny Hamlin swept this racetrack in his rookie season back in 2006. Give me the 11.
I like him too, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something from Christian Budd. This is his best race of the summertime after being strong in the spring. He's been top 10 throughout much of the summer at times, but it has been Christian Budd's type of night in terms of rhythm, which what we've seen especially at tracks like California earlier this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see Christian Budd do something here from outside second row, you'd have to think. But with 2 to go, it is confirmed, natural green-white checkered. And remember, if we get a caution after this mark, it is essentially the point of no return type of restart, where it's green flag laps for 2 laps regardless if we go to overtime.
Here we go. We got a little while to go yet. This track's so darn big, but you know, if you're inside the top 10 right now, you just got to have the perfect restart. This is crunch time. You can't make any mistakes in these last 2 laps if you want to get the solid finish out of it. You just have to go through the motions. You can't overthink it. You can't overdrive it. You just got to do what you know you can do with your race car, because if you make a mistake, you overdrive the car, you're really going to open up the window for somebody else to take your spot and potentially wipe yourself and others out and make them not too happy with you.
Here we go. 5 miles to go. The Pennsylvania 500 comes down to this. So is Junior Mauricio in the front row. Green flag is out. 2 to go from Pocono. Oh, and some contact to the inside. Kress gets bumped out of the way. Here comes Pellig. 3 wide for the battle for third. Koenig's tries to help Kress into turn 1.
Yeah, Kress had to check up because the 31 blinked in front of him, and that just shuffled him up out of the way, but they're going to be side by side for the lead. 3 wide the rest of the way through the field as they come off turn 1.
Mauricio jumps up into second, tucking in behind the 11. Bud boxed in with Pellig down to the inside for second spot. Pellig trying to launch it, can't make it work. A squeeze back from the 31. Solis Jr. looks to run away, coming up to the white flag, this time by.
Things are looking pretty smooth behind these guys. Looks like the closest battle is going to be for 4th. Logan Kress down on the bottom. You got the 48 of Sean Pellig up on the outside. Koenig's and McKissick side by side, almost leaning on each other, coming off turn 3.
Barney the flagman waves the white flag, final time around at Pocono. Solis Jr. looking to run away from Mauricio and Christian Budd into turn 1. The gap is 3/10.
Looks like our top 3 may wind up staying as is unless Mauricio and Budd start to go at it. That could allow that 48 of Sean Pellig to reel them in, coming off turn number 1 for the final time. Here comes Mauricio. He's got a good run, but he's going to be stuck side by side with Christian Budd.
Drag race for second. Solis Jr. exactly what he needs to see. Still by 1/4 of a second up. Mauricio holds on to it. Budd nearly to the wall. Oh, wow, the 11.
Might get one more shot. Sorry, Justin.
Here comes the one more shot for second. Mauricio inside, outside, Budd for second, but for the race win. Solis Jr. holds on and wins it at Pocono as a big one strikes in the heart of the pack. As they come across the stripe, they crash hard for 12th on back.
Koenig was the one that started all that. He got turned sideways coming off of turn number 3. At 45, he was battling hard with Ryan Doucette.
Oh, the leaders crashed. Everybody has crashed.
I think they're just doing it for fun, but then Ali Osman got in the back of the 45, finished him off, and I mean, everybody back there piled it on in. A lot of hard hits in that.
What a way to end it here at Pocono, my goodness. Let's take a look at what caused the big one.
Man, nowhere for the 50 to go. Oh, he got hit hard in the door. I know 12 got turned of Latham there. It's just a little bit of contact. That 45 still loose. Gets hit from behind. There goes Pace into the wall. The 8, Dylan Roberts around. Oh, my God. That's Robbie Lyons and that 97 come flying in there. Ugh.
That impacted a lot of the drivers' finishing order marks in the heart of the pack. You have to feel for Kovenix in particular. Had been quick throughout the race. His reward, 26th place. Wow.
Yeah, he was 8th right here. He was battling for 7th until he got turned. And he's going to finish 26th instead. Can't be happy with that. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, and he gets it again.
So look for one of the Dodge dealers backed machines, one of the Abraham Motorsports cars. Wow. It's the best way to put it. And you see the celebration is on for the race winner who is celebrating from the victory party.
Yeah, wow.
This will be a burnout.
Yeah, he's burning the engine out. Oh, perfect. Just leave it there.
So is Junior with a very tricky burnout attempt as he slams the car into all the walls to make sure it passes inspection. You can see how difficult it is to drive with a broken car.
Yeah, when the right front's not touching the racetrack anymore, that can be pretty tough.
Let's go to the unofficial race results on that point. So is Junior over Mauricio by just about 0.4 of a second. Christian Budd, his best run of the summer, in third. Peleg and McKissick, the top 5. Kress, Doucette, Ryan Doucette, James Holzer, Christopher Tate, and Nicholas Doucette, your top 10.
11th place belongs to Philip Snipes. Christina Ryan comes back to finish 12th. Ali Osman in 13th. Thomas Lewandowski finishes 14th. Timothy Latham 15th. Brennan McGee 16th. Ben Hancock 17th. Dylan Roberts 18th. Lilac Zier in 19th. Anthony Krobak finishes 20th.
21st spot going the direction of Alex Bates today, then Larry Pace. Robbie Lyons in his debut stayed at the back most of the run, finished 23rd. Parisato after a black flag during pit stops, 24th. Hayden Repas, 25th. Kovenix, the last driver of the lead lap, in 26th. Brendan Cruz, 27th. Forrest Scott, 5 laps down, 28th. Swartz and Crampton, the top 30. And the rest of your field featuring Kyle Benson and Parker Alexander, both DNFs as well for this one today. But the celebration, well, was eventful in the cars themselves. Why don't we see if we can talk to Jose Solis Jr., your race winner here tonight? And the summer continues to smile upon the 11's way when it comes to the pace for his first win of the summer, so believe it or not. He's been quick in the conversation before this mark. Jose, how are you feeling about this victory here tonight?
Feeling pretty happy about this win because right around lap 8 or so, when I was outside top 10, I didn't even think I had a good shot top 5 because it was just so hard to pass. But after I played the strategy, I felt pretty good about that one.
How would you describe the feel of the car in the midst of that 2-tire bonanza, it seemed? Majority of the field, in fact, preferred the 2 tires, it looked like.
Yeah, the 2 tires didn't really feel that different from the 4 tires. It just it was a little looser. But it definitely had less grip, so I definitely felt like I was at a disadvantage over the guys who took tires.
It was a crazy end to the race, we'll say. How were you feeling after the celebration party in turn 1?
Yeah, I don't even know what happened after turn 1 there. I just kind of got killed. But the restarts, I didn't think I had a good shot because I felt like everyone behind me had 4 tires. I felt like I was way disadvantaged, but I was able to pull it out because just the top lane just helped me a lot.
Good answer when it comes to the restarts today. Congratulations, though, on the victory today here at a track where the driver you're representing dominated here in the past when he started off his career, when he swept Pocono in 2006. Congratulations, Jose.
Thank you.
Jose Solis Jr., your race winner today by about 0.4 of a second over the next driver in line. That's Gabriel Mauricio, who finished in second. His best finish of the season, Jacob, he's with you.
Gabriel Mauricio finishing in second tonight. Did you have anything for that driver of the 11 and Jose Solis Jr.?
Hey, what's up, guys? I tried there at the end. Like, I knew it was going to be tough to pass Jose. He's really fast, so got enough to complain. I was having connection issues there at the end, so I was glad I was able to get a good finish again. Last time I was finished well, I think it was Vegas, so glad with that.
We're off to a different racetrack next week, much different from Pocono at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Is that a track in your favor, perhaps to ride the momentum from this week into next week?
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like New Hampshire. I kind of like it. Sometimes it's fun with your car, but I like no high hopes for this track. I was expecting a good finish at Chicago and did really well, so glad I was able to get a good finish here before the chase begins.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish, and we'll see you next week from New Hampshire.
Yep, see you.
Gabriel Mauricio, second place tonight from Pocono.
Third spot tonight went to Christian Budd, and it's been a while since we've gotten to talk with you. How are you feeling after one of your best runs of the summertime?
Yeah, it was a good run. Felt like performance-wise, have been pretty okay this whole season. Just sometimes circumstances and track position and things like that kind of causing me issues. Be nice to close one of these things out. Thought on that early run, drove from 8th to 3rd. Thought I had something for them, but then we just got yellow fever again. And these races are really fun. They're so fun to drive. These cars are so fun to drive. And I thought last week at Chicago was just awesome. And this had a lot of potential to be a really fun race, but we can't wreck all the time. If we wreck all the time, coast around under yellow, it's not really what we're looking to do. So hopefully we'll clean that up. But as far as my day, it was pretty good. Bottom was really hard to pass, really hard to even just be down there. Top was really dominant. I don't know if that would have changed on a longer run. I felt like I was able to get under a few guys if we got some laps on, but on these restarts, if you were on the bottom, it was very difficult. So, got some restarts up top and able to bring it home third, which is pretty good.
Next time out, the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, or rather New Hampshire International Raceway, coming up on the schedule. International Speedway. Let's try that once more time. Your thoughts on New Hampshire?
I don't mind it. I think it's all about, is the setup going to be good? Can we race there? So we'll work really hard on that, of course, to make that happen. And then, I think it just comes back to being in the driver's hands a little bit, what kind of race we're going to have. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it'd be nice to win one of these things. We've been kind of close, but maybe it'll be next week.
Well, congratulations on the top 5 tonight. Congratulations on third place, Christian.
Appreciate it.
That's Christian Budd. Rounding out your top 3, I'd like to thank Cam, Gabriel Mauricio, and Jose Solis Jr. for taking the time to speak with us. And Jacob, real quickly, your final thoughts after this one.
Well, the last couple of races that I've done for WINSTEL, it's been clean, wire to wire. The racing's been phenomenal. Tonight we had that little bit of attrition. We did have the cautions fly, which kind of took out the strategy after about halfway through the race, just because you could pit. You could get that fuel, and you were set to go to the end of the race. But still, I thought we had a great show. Jose Solis Jr. was hanging on for dear life for the lead at some points, and then at the very end, just got that one good restart that he needed and was just able to pull away from it all.
It was an eventful night, to say the least, for WINSTEL competition here at Pocono tonight. But with that, it's time to say goodbye. The next time you can see coverage on FDF for racing action is ERL as well. You'll have World 600 qualifying coming up for that special event across the platform in the next few days. You also have the iRacing, eNASCAR iRacing Road Pro Qualifying Series and its second round this next Thursday to see who can try and get themselves into the run for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. But with that, it's time to say goodbye. For my co-announcer Jacob Hitz, for Zach Johnson, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congratulations to Jose Solis Jr., your winner from Pocono.